Somebody deep fried a turkey the wrong way. The wrong way. All right.
Don't deep fry your turkey in your garage.
Yeah. I have a side note, and I don't remember what it was. It's kind of, I don't know if it's important or not.
We'll think of it later.
Yeah, I don't remember. And we're back. Day 56 without a haircut. Yeah. It's getting crazy.
It's not been 56 days.
It's been 56 days since my last haircut.
Has it really?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously?
Seriously. And it shows. All right. Thanksgiving dinner. We're doing Thanksgiving dinner the works this time. It's gonna be a crazy video. We're doing turkey, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole. We're doing cranberry sauce, 2 different ways. We're doing yeast rolls. We are gonna do some chocolate pie, right?
No, we're not doing the chocolate pie today.
We're doing chocolate pie because I love chocolate pie. We're doing, what else we got? We got mashed potatoes, I don't know. We got Thanksgiving dinner going. So we're gonna put this video out so that you can have Thanksgiving dinner. And then we got something special. We're gonna break this up so you can jump into chapters. We're starting with the turkey, then we're gonna go into mashed potatoes. While the mashed potatoes are going, then we're gonna be doing the green bean casserole. And then while all of that's kind of going, then we're gonna do some cranberry sauce. So all sorts of fun stuff going on today. Do we have anything else? I feel like.
We're gonna do yeast rolls.
And we're doing yeast rolls.
Not tonight.
Tomorrow. So yeah, that'll be an addition. And then what we'll do is, if you don't want to watch a whole long video on Thanksgiving dinner, shame on you, we're gonna break them up and we will be releasing each one as a separate recipe later on. So you'll see some odd transitions, maybe not. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this. We'll see, but have a glass of wine. Let's begin. Turkey. And let's talk turkey, right? Turkey, you can buy a whole turkey, you can cook it in the oven the traditional way, and you can end up with some really moist, dark meat and dry white meat, because that's what happens when you cook it in the oven, because you got to get it to a certain temperature, and that temperature is great for dark meat, but it's too high for white meat. So what we're gonna do is separate everything. Yeah, it's not gonna look the way that it should, and that's okay. We're still having dark meat and white meat, and that's perfectly fine. Oh, we're also making gravy. So what we've done is we've bought a chicken breast, and we've let it thaw out an appropriate amount of time, several days by now.
Turkey breast.
Turkey breast? Yeah, not chicken breast. Although we fooled our daughter one year. Because we couldn't get the turkey breast, so we got chicken breast, and she thought it was turkey, and it was great. So the best way to do this is to separate the meat. You end up with your white meat cooked at a certain temperature where it's nice and moist and juicy. And then you cook your dark meat at a higher temperature, but still keeping it moist and juicy. And that's what we're going to do. So we have some turkey wings right here. We also have a turkey breast right here. And all I'm gonna do is season both of these. Very simple: salt, pepper, garlic, and obviously the poultry blend that we get. This is an organic poultry mix. Sage, thyme, and rosemary. Sage, thyme, and rosemary. We're just gonna start throwing it in the bags, vacuum seal it, throw it in the sous vide, let it cook for 24 hours. So the whole thing is you wanna prepare everything the day before. That way on Thanksgiving, all you gotta do is get your turkey, flame throw it, boom, warm everything else up, and you're done. So we're cooking everything tonight. We're gonna let our turkey cook for 24 hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with our turkey wings. Oh, and make sure you have a good glass of wine, okay? Because when you're cooking this much food, you gotta have some wine. I'm gonna start first by opening up our turkey. I keep calling it chicken. We eat so much chicken, it's crazy. Not today. And it's okay. I'm gonna tell you, like, you should thaw it out the appropriate amount of time. That is what you should do. But when you cook it sous vide, you really don't have to worry about it because it will start to defrost and cook everything in the sous vide because it brings it up to a very specific temperature and holds it there. So you'll be fine with that. This is mostly thawed. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave the skin on. This time we're letting everything just kind of be together with this one. I don't know if the turkey breast has skin on it yet. I'll have to check it out, but you can see it's all here. Yeah, still frozen. Wow, holy cow. We try to let this thing defrost, but it doesn't matter. The only thing that I don't like when you don't defrost it is that a lot more liquid gets in there because they usually pack it with, I don't know, some kind of saline solution. And I'm always cutting out when I wash my hands because it's just, you don't need to know that I'm always doing that. However, every time I touch raw meat, I go and I wash my hands. And now I'm gonna start prepping everything to season it. And I'll probably wash my hands 100 times before this turkey is done. So very simple to do here. The herbs I'm not gonna put in quite yet. I'm just opening the bags, getting them ready so that I don't have to keep washing my hands every time I touch something different. And I love the way that this poultry blend smells. And I use this same blend even on my steaks. Like, I'm crazy about it. I love thyme, rosemary, and sage together. It's just great. I use it on steaks. I use it on pork, you know, just however I'm running it. So, all right. It's time to get our hands dirty. Let's do this. Salt and pepper and garlic powder in our poultry blend. It's going in the bag. Now it's cooking sous vide, so you're gonna want to be generous with your seasoning on this. What I should do, I'm getting my big tongs so I don't have to keep touching it and washing my hands all the time. I could just try to flip it. So here's some garlic. Pepper. Something's going down.
Somebody's cooking a turkey in the wrong way.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about grease fires when you do it with sous vide. Like, all right, you're good. All right. Now let's see if I could just flip this. Of course, Nellie comes over. She's like, "What you making? I smell that raw turkey." Uh-huh. All right, there we go. I'm just gonna season this side here. I'm leaving every bit of these wings together. What you can do with this, if you wanted, like some people will use the juice for making gravy. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna make our gravy from scratch a different way. So no need to worry. Some garlic. Although this juice does come out very well, this broth. All right, so I have my bags already prepared. I sealed the bottoms. I flipped over the top because you don't want to get this dirty. Don't get it dirty, it won't seal properly. So let's get these wings in here. See if I can get them. And I'm gonna add the poultry blend after I get these in the bag. So I'm gonna do this one. Do that one. Okay. Look at that. Ha 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 ha! All right, you know, Usually when you're cooking, things don't always go right. I don't want to jinx anything because the night has just begun. I'm going to take my poultry blend here. And what you want to do is give it a nice little squeeze. You want to start to release those herbs or the oils. Okay, that's your fragrant oils. And I'm just going to throw it all in there just to give it a little bit. There's a little bit more. All right, and I'll leave that one. There it is. You remember how I split the top of the bag? That's why you don't, when you're putting it in, the turkey stuff will touch it. You don't want that. So then you can flip it like this. It's all clean up on top. That's how you want it to be. All right, I'm always out of room over here, so I'm trying to turn this around this way. Just making sure I get it aligned properly. All right, I'm putting moist, gentle, back seal. All right, and then I'm gonna seal it the second time. All right, dark meat done. That's it. All right, I am throwing it in this sous vide, the dark meat sous vide. We have 2 of them going, 150 degrees for 24 hours. And set my timer. All right. And just make sure it's submerged. Now, onto our turkey breast. And the turkey breast comes in this fancy little bag. We've been letting it defrost. I can feel that it's like in some kind of juice. I'm gonna drain it here. All right. This is how the turkey breast came. It does have the skin on. I'm gonna leave it on because I love it when we do the flamethrower and it's seasoned, although this part is up, so I'm gonna go ahead and season underneath and season the top as well. And then we also have the rest of the white meat included, which is great. So the breast, wow. And the tenders, all there. Looks good. Huh. Good deal. I was uncertain about that turkey breast, like if it was a process or just throw it together. It's just the whole turkey breast, so awesome.
Frozen from Costco, we knew it was gonna be great.
Yeah, frozen from Costco, so you know it's good. I'm gonna wash my hands again. All right, and the seasoning is the same. I have another bag already set to go for the white meat, chicken breast, and I'll finish this wine. Seasoning is the same, although this time I'm gonna season the skin as well. And then I will season underneath the skin just to give it a little extra. Last year we did like 3 or 4 different Thanksgiving dinners, only because that's like, we did our own and we wanted to try the turkey sous vide. Then we went over to my daughter's, did it over there. Then we were at my in-laws, did it over there. So by the time Thanksgiving really came, we didn't have any turkey. We went to go buy some for our own dinner, and we didn't have any, so we ended up just using chicken. And our daughter woke up that morning and we're like, oh, we got it. And we served chicken instead of turkey, and she didn't know the difference, and we didn't say. We just, you know, it's the sin of omission. You just don't say.
Now she's gonna know. We never told her.
We never told her, and it's just a funny story. So I'm seasoning the inside of this real quick. That's how you know you're from the Midwest. You say real quick all the time. Yeah, I said Midwest.
Oh, did you? I
Yeah.
said the West.
Yeah.
From the Wild West.
No, you're from the West. You're like, dang, bing, bing, dang. I'm just kidding. I don't know what they say in the West. Y'all,
Right quick, maybe.
right quick.
I don't know. That's how.
That's how they say. Fixing it.
I love regional slang. It's the best.
Yeah, I like regional slang also, but being from Albuquerque, New Mexico, it's a whole different language. One of the I joke around with my, well, I don't joke around, because when you're in New Mexico and you're driving to the store, you get to the store or wherever you're going, they always say, get down. Are we gonna get down? Like, instead of get out of the car and go into the store, you look at somebody, are you gonna get down? And so it's a bad thing that I keep saying even now.
Bad. I just didn't understand you the first couple times.
First couple times I said, are you getting down? She was like, what are you talking about?
Like dancing?
Like, you know, like, get down. You could put whatever seasoning you like on your turkey. Go for it. Like, you could put smoked paprika if you want to add some color to it. I'm gonna flamethrower it, so it's gonna turn out crazy anyway. Yeah, don't put butter. It doesn't really do anything at the end. The flavor, you want the flavor of the meat and everything. If you over season, it's just too crazy. All right, so there it is. Salt, pepper, garlic on our white meat. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in this bag. Wow, that's a lot. I didn't realize how much was in there. So hopefully this all fits. I'm gonna start with this big hunk of turkey breast here. Throw that in. There we go. That looks good. And then I might throw one of these on top of that. There. Another one there. Want to leave room for our herbs. So I'm gonna go ahead, and because we have more of the white meat, I'm doing 2 of these. I'm doing one on one side and one on the other. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw our poultry blend, sage, thyme, rosemary. Again, just give it a little crush here, release those oils, and get it all in there. Make sure you all get in there. All y'all. That's another thing. And then this other bag of poultry blend. Again, nice little crush. I'm gonna throw it up on top over here. You gotta love these aromatics. I mean, they're amazing. It smells good just like this. All right, there you have it. Our turkey breasts and all. And I washed my hands again because when I was sticking my hand in there, I touched things. And so anyways, don't worry about it. You can never wash your hands enough. That's all I can say. Stay clean. Stay clean, especially in the kitchen. All right. Let's get that lined up. It's on moist, it's on gentle, and I'm gonna vacuum seal. There we go. Got 2 seals on it. Turkey all in here. Boom, boom, boom. Gonna throw it in our white meat sous vide. I said it all, so you don't have to. All right, we're cooking it for 24 hours at 131 degrees. White meat, 131 degrees, 24 hours. Dark meat, 150 degrees, 24 hours. Extra precaution, although these are sealed properly, I wanna make sure they stay below the water line. I'm using my sous vide weights, and this will ensure that through the night, as I slumber, that I don't have to worry about them coming up above the water line. Let me do the same over here with the dark meat. And that's it for the turkey. 24 hours later, we'll come back to this and we're gonna finish it off, flamethrower it. It's gonna be delicious. Turkey's going. Well, that's going. We're gonna start our mashed potatoes, so we will be right back. As we continue on with our Thanksgiving dinner, it's time for the mashed potatoes. And these are the easiest mashed potatoes you can make. These are garlic mashed potatoes made in the Instant Pot. And it's so fast and easy. All right, so I hate even giving this recipe, it's so simple, but it's absolutely delicious. We love mashed potatoes when it's Thanksgiving time. All right, first, we just have a handful of mashed potatoes, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 whole potatoes, not mashed. They're not even mashed yet. We got 9, decent sized potatoes. All I'm gonna do is peel them, and then peel them, wash them, cube them, and throw them in the Instant Pot. So. All right, all 9 potatoes are peeled. And peeling them over this plate makes it easy cleanup because now you just throw the paper plate in the trash and you don't have to bend over in the sink and start collecting all that stuff. Now this is super easy. Little wife hack. Okay, so I'm gonna start chopping these up. However, here's another wife hack. I like that. Instead of life hack, wife hack. It doesn't sound good if you're like Jason, but if your name is Jason, don't do a wife hack. Yeah, but, you know.
Jason didn't have a wife.
He didn't have a wife, that's right.
It's okay. He just had a mother.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's not a mother hack. This is a wife hack and a life hack. I'm gonna chop these up, but while I'm chopping them up, I'm gonna get the Instant Pot going on saute mode with the water. And what that does is it starts to heat it up a lot. That way when we get the potatoes in and you turn it, the pressure, it doesn't take very much to get it going. And it cooks faster, because the main complaint with people that do Instant Pot cooking is, oh yeah, you put it in there, it says 15 minutes, but it takes like 10 minutes for it to get up. So it's really like 25 minutes. So if you start doing this, you're all good. Okay, we have tried Instant Pot mashed potatoes several different ways. There are people that do it where you don't have to drain the water, and they just they do their potatoes, they throw them in whole and water and boom, but there's still there still ends up being water at the bottom. We've tried that, didn't like it. We've cubed it and thrown it in there, and yeah, it worked out. But here's, after many experiments, here's what we found. We peel and cube them, and we use a steamer basket. We throw our cubed potatoes in here, and we get it to cube it first, throw them in the steamer basket, then put them in 15 minutes and you're done. You can pull it out, and most of the water is gone. If there's still a little bit of water left, it's okay if it's just very little, but if most of it's gone or you have some water left, you can dump it out. Then you can put your potatoes in and you can finish them all off right in here. What I'm going to do first is put a cup of water in. Actually, I'm gonna put just a hair more. Mainly because I'm gonna start the saute mode. I'm gonna lose some water there. So, what's that?
You can leave the lid off on saute.
You can leave the lid off on saute. I don't know, these newfangled machines. So I'm gonna go ahead and, yes, that is saute. And I say that because I don't have my glasses on. All right, well, this is sauteing. I'm gonna move it over, and hopefully I can cut these like this. Get them in the basket over here. And rough chop, don't be too crazy. You're not doing just big chunks. Nothing insane, okay? Because simple, easy to do. And look at that. You have 9 potatoes in this basket, and it's gonna be super easy to just pull them out when you're done. And they're cooked, and then you could just, hey, is there any water? Dump them out, whatever, you know. It's gonna be super easy. I'm just gonna throw these in here. And I can feel this thing's already hot, like my wife. Super hot. Although, none of you know that, only because she won't show her face. But, believe me, she's super hot. All right, so this is going. You can see the steam coming up. I'm gonna put my lid on. And now, I'm gonna cancel. I'm gonna do pressure cook. I'm gonna do 25 minutes, or 15 minutes. I'm sorry, it was on 25 minutes. I'm doing 15 minutes. I'm putting this to make sure it's not on venting. It's on sealing or seal, I don't know, whatever. And I have it pointing this way because when I do the quick release, I want a nice facial. I'm just kidding, don't do that. It's really hot. Just gonna let this go. So it's on, set for 15 minutes. Boom, we're gonna let those cook. While that's cooking, I'm gonna start doing
green bean casserole.
While the mashed potatoes are going, I'm gonna start cooking green bean casserole. And I got a long green bean story for you.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. We have turkey going. We have mashed potatoes going. It's time for the green bean casserole. And super simple, easy recipe. Can't mess this up. 2 cans of French style green beans. We're gonna drain the water from those. 1 can cream of chicken. A lot of people use cream of mushroom, although if you have aversions to mushrooms, then stay away from them. Use cream of chicken. You can use cream of celery. Whatever your flavor profile is and enjoy, do that. And then we're gonna do salt, pepper to taste, and half of these crispy fried onions will go in the mixture and the other half will go on top. But because we are making these the night before, I'm not gonna put this stuff on top because I don't want it to get soggy. So I'm gonna put half in when we mix it all up. And then tomorrow, after we get it out to heat it up for dinner, and bake it, I'm putting the rest of it on top and it'll come out nice and crispy. So, super simple recipe. My wife was handing me the can opener to, do it by hand, but I'm saving these mussels for her. Don't want to waste them on, green beans. Yeah, she's happy. Okay, so here we go. Putting my green beans in. And there's no need to put them in another bowl or anything. Why are you gonna dirty another dish? It's Thanksgiving. Use the least amount of dishes possible. All right. Then I'm gonna put our cream of chicken in. And like I said, you can use whatever cream of you like.
You can't.
It was on Wayne's World.
I know. It doesn't matter.
And then we're gonna put half of our crispy onions. Oh, and I have the oven preheating at 350 degrees. That's what you heard there. I'm gonna put salt and pepper and then mix it. All right, there is one other ingredient we need that I failed to put in here, and that's 3/4 cups of milk. We're using organic whole milk. So I add in 3/4 cups of milk. There's half. And 1/4. And that's it. Gonna throw this in the oven for about 20 minutes. And then again, tomorrow when we reheat everything, I will use the rest of these on top and finish baking it so they stay nice and crispy. So this is gonna go in. And there we go, 20 minutes. We have our potatoes going, mashed potatoes going. We have green bean casserole in the oven. We have turkey breast or white meat in this sous vide. And we have dark meat, the wings and such, in the other sous vide, both cooking at different temperatures. So they come out perfect. Now, this is all going and it's time for cranberry sauce. Oh yeah, we're doing cranberry sauce 2 different ways, so you can do whichever is your preference, but you'll see 2 different styles. We'll be right back. We have turkey going. We have green bean casserole in the oven. We have mashed potatoes cooking in the Instant Pot. It's time to start cranberry sauce. It's all coming together. It's so fast. We're doing everything all at once. Super simple. So for cranberries sauce, you don't need to buy that canned crap. It's just, once you make it, it's so simple, easy, you'll always make it on your own. all I'm gonna do is take a bag of cranberries. We're doing 2 different versions. One has oranges or orange juice and spices, and the other is just plain, just with water, sugar, pinch of salt, that's it. So they're both really easy to do. I have 2 pans going here on the burner or stovetop. I'm gonna take my bag of cranberries, I'm splitting it in half, but I'm gonna wash them first. So I'm gonna put them in the strainer, go to the sink and wash them, and I'll be right back. Half the bag is going into the regular pot and the other half is going into the orange juice pot. And so here's the recipe for the regular. Half a cup of water, half a cup of sugar, pinch of salt, and boom. Put your cranberries in, you're gonna cook them, they're gonna pop, and then if they don't pop, you could go through with a spoon and just smash them, or you can use an immersion blender and smash them that way, however you want, whatever you want for the texture. For the orange juice, all you do is put your other half of the cranberries in, and we're doing half a cup of water, a quarter cup of orange juice, half a cinnamon stick, half a tablespoon of ginger, and a pinch of salt. Throw it in there, and it gives it some extra flavor, spiciness, whatever you like. I prefer mine plain, so that's why I'm making it this way. My wife likes to doctor it up. She likes all the other things in there, and I like it. It's just not my preference. So we're doing 2 different versions. Since I have both of these things going, I'm gonna try to do my best to look at it and divide it in half. That looks good. And then yeah, there. All right. I'm gonna do half a cup of water. In each of these. All right, to dry that off. And then I'm gonna put a quarter cup of orange juice. This is pulp-free, organic orange juice, of course, right? I'm gonna throw that one back here. Then back here, I'm gonna do half a tablespoon of ginger. And of course, it's not gonna fit in there, so I gotta break some up. Looks good. I'm also doing half a cinnamon stick in the spiced up version, and then a pinch of salt in both of these. And let me dry this off because I don't want to stick it in the sugar. Well, let me get a different one just to be safe. Half a cup of sugar there. Half a cup of sugar here. Just a tad on that. It seemed a little late. All right, And really, you're just gonna reduce this down. They're gonna cook. Just give it a good stir. They're gonna start popping all crazy. And you just let them pop and it just reduces down. And you just keep reducing it till it gets to the consistency that you like. If they don't pop, you can either just smash it with a spoon. You can use an immersion blender to then get it to the right consistency. But that's really it. And you just kind of let this go. It takes about 10 minutes. Simple. And that's really all it is. Like, cause you'll never make cranberry sauce. Oh, my hair is just insane. You'll never buy it from the can again because that's super easy to make. And listen, we've got like 5 things going here. I'm still having a glass of wine. So, mashed potatoes, almost done. 1 minute left. We're gonna switch over to that. We have cranberry sauce moving, 2 different kinds. We have turkey, white meat, dark meat going in the sous vide, and we have green bean casserole cooking in the oven. Boom, Thanksgiving is almost done. We will be making gravy. After all of this stuff gets done, we're gonna focus on the mashed potatoes and then we're gonna do some gravy. Oh, the gravy, can't forget the gravy. So we'll be back. It's time to do our mashed potatoes. They are done. I'm gonna cancel this. I am going to vent it. Well, that sucks. Let's just see how this goes. That GoPro is getting quite a shot. That came off. I'm just stirring up the cranberries, and so they're starting to pop. You'll see them pop in there, and it's just gonna keep getting thicker. So just let it cook down and reduce. I'm gonna move our milk over because our green bean casserole is ready to come out. We're just gonna let this go for a little bit. You'll know it's ready when this red, I don't know what it is, weight thing drops down, and then it's like, all right, all the pressure's gone. If we only all had a little red weight to let us know when the pressure was gone in life, it would be great. All right, green bean casserole is ready. I'm taking that out of the oven. And we're just gonna let this cool up here. We'll cover it and we'll put it in the fridge so that way it will get ready for tomorrow. This, I'll keep stirring. These cranberries do pop. You could put a lid on to make sure it doesn't get you all crazy. However, these are in like shallower pots, so it's not making a mess. I'm okay. The red weight has dropped. It's time to remove our lid. And normally you could just stick this up here like so, but I need the space. I'm taking it off. All right, let's go ahead and pull this up and see how much liquid we have in here. So We have a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and take our potatoes out. Come over here for a second. And if it's very little, you shouldn't have to worry about it, but that's more than I care to have in there because I really want the milk, I don't want the water. So I'm just gonna take this and dump it out. Yeah, that's all the starch water. And make sure you use oven mitts when you're taking this out. This thing's crazy hot. All right. Crazy hot like my wife. Here's our mashed potatoes. Our mashed potatoes are going right back in. Or our cooked potatoes, I should say. And that's it. See how easy that was? They're all cubed and they are mashed. I need a masher. No, I don't. I don't need a masher. So all I'm gonna do now is get some salt and pepper in here, salt, pepper, and garlic. Season the salt, pepper, and garlic to taste. These are garlic mashed potatoes, so I'm putting extra garlic in here just for now. I'm also gonna use half a stick of butter. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in so it can melt in there. All right. Get this out of the way. And then I have here, I don't know, what is this? 2 cups of milk. I'm gonna start by putting, I don't know, enough in there to get it going. And then I'll tell you what I end up with at the end. So I'm putting about half right now, 1 cup. And the reason I'm doing this is because you really want your own consistency for this. We know what we like as far as consistency for our mashed potatoes, but who knows what you like? So they're nice and creamy. That's 1 cup. I'm gonna check on these. They're going crazy over here. All right, I'm gonna reduce the heat on my cranberry sauce a little bit. Just let this keep going, reduce down. They're popping. They look really good. All right. And then I'm gonna taste my mashed potatoes. I'm looking for a few things. Creaminess, they're a little thick right now. We like them probably a little bit creamier, so I'll add a little bit more milk, but I want to taste for salt, pepper, and garlic. And butter. That's delicious. Needs more pepper and more milk. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put more milk in here, maybe half of this, another half cup. There we go. Put 1.5 cups. I'm gonna put more pepper. I don't know if I ever put pepper to begin with. Maybe that's why I wasn't tasting it. I don't recall if I put pepper, so definitely needs pepper. So there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and go at this again. That looks really good. I'm gonna use the other end of my spoon. Test it again. Oh, nice and creamy, look at that. Oh, the pepper did it. Now, The thing is that they're gonna thicken up even more, and after you put them in the fridge and when you reheat them, you're gonna have to add more milk. So I'm gonna make mine a little bit more creamy. Although I like this, if I were serving them now, I would leave it as it is. But I'm gonna make them a little extra creamy just because I know we're gonna put them in the fridge and we're gonna have to reheat, and I don't wanna add any more things as much as possible later on. But, ooh, this cranberry sauce has come along. Ooh, looks good. I'm just gonna pop some of these that aren't popped with a spoon. I'm gonna reduce this to low. Great consistency here. Ah, this looks good. It smells delicious. It's just about done on this one. This is without the orange juice or other things. It's just sugar, water, a pinch of salt, and that's really it. Looks really good. This other one, because we added extra orange juice, is gonna have to reduce a lot more just because it had extra liquid in it. But it's very fragrant, and I'm just popping whatever berries aren't popped. You wanna eat a whole cranberry, you might, oh, bless you. All right, this looks good. I'm gonna turn this one off. Move it off there. I'm gonna put this one over here so you can see it. I'm gonna turn that off, put this on low. It needs a little bit more, look how thick that is. And any other berries that need to pop, I'll pop them. All right, so let me just finish that up. I'm gonna add a little bit more milk to my mashed potatoes. I'm gonna go ahead and add the whole 2 cups. There we go. We'll take these off. All right, let me get a clean spoon. Like I said, these are a little extra creamy just because I know it's gonna thicken up in the fridge, but that's a nice, we love garlic mashed potatoes. That's spot on. Oh my goodness. We did half a stick of butter. Sometimes we did a whole stick of butter depending on how decadent we want to get. But because we have all this other great food coming along, half a stick of butter on this one. All of this and a glass of wine. So our mashed potatoes are done. Our easy cranberry sauce without the orange juice. This is the plain cranberry sauce. This is done as well. Look at that. It's just you don't need to go to the store and buy that canned stuff. Like, you need to go to the store, okay, but this is just right. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little taste test here. I'm letting this one reduce a little more. It needs to get a little bit thicker. But this is plain. It's pretty much what you would get from the store, but better because you made it. It's fresh. Yes. Yes. Victory on the cranberry sauce. Love it. That's my favorite. Okay, I have a sick admission here. I only ate cranberry sauce from the can because that's all I ever knew, and loved it. And my wife was like, oh, we got to make our own. And we made this one. We did, the first time we made it, it was with orange juice, like half a cup of orange juice and a tablespoon of orange zest. And man, it was just so much orange. It was crazy. You couldn't taste the cranberry. And I just want plain. And so we we did this experiment to find out like, hey, can we get just the plain, and it tastes better than the canned stuff. It's really good. The consistency is great. Flavor is amazing. And we still want some with the orange juice and spices because it gives a little extra flavor. You know, it's a little extra flavor there. And so that's what we're doing on this one. But as you can tell, that extra orange juice makes it a little bit more watery. So we're just gonna go ahead and keep reducing this down a little bit more till it gets to the thickness that we like. All right. I'm gonna let that sit for a while. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna taste test this one just to see if it needs anything before I get too ahead of myself here. I can't declare a winner until I tried both of them. I don't know if there is a winner. I mean, they're both very delicious, I'm sure. Oh. I may be changing my mind. That is flavorful. Oh. You get the cranberries and just a hint of that orange comes through. It's not overpowering, but that cinnamon and ginger, they give it something special. I like this one. This is my favorite. I thought I was gonna like the plain one better because it tastes it tastes better than the canned stuff. And I like the canned stuff. It didn't have anything extra in it. This ginger gives a little bit of that spice and just that hint of orange juice running through it and that cinnamon. Like you can taste the cranberry. That's the first thing you get, but then it builds out this whole profile of flavors. This is my favorite. I'm serious. I thought I would for sure was like, I just want the plain stuff, but oh man. That is amazing. It surprised me more than I expected. Holy cow, that is really, really good. All right, I'm gonna keep letting it reduce. Wow, that is perfect. This is the most perfect cranberry sauce I've ever had in my life. It's delicious. I'm gonna get a bowl for our mashed potatoes to put those in. I'm going to let our mashed potatoes cool down before I put them in the oven, or before I put them in the refrigerator. These gotta cool down. Also, our green bean casserole needs to continue to cool down. But, you know what doesn't need to cool down? My wife. Beep, 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 beep. All right. I am going to move this green bean casserole over so I can make some room because we're making gravy. That's right, we're making gravy. And you're gonna love this gravy because it's not made from a bunch of crap. It's gonna be delicious. This is what I'm gonna do so I can tell the difference. I'm gonna use this here with the colored to know that it is for the spiced version. And this one with nothing, because it's plain, is gonna be for the plain version, all right? That's my methodology. I don't know if it's gonna work. We may mix it up, but I'm putting it all in here. Pretty much everything in that realm is done. Last thing we're doing tonight is the gravy. I'm gonna go ahead and make the gravy. Let all this stuff cool down. We'll get it in the fridge. Then tomorrow, we're gonna make our yeast rolls, finish off the turkey, and heat up everything, and we will have a Thanksgiving feast. I wanted to make the chocolate pies, because chocolate pies are for Thanksgiving. But my wife says they're for the real Thanksgiving, not for YouTube Thanksgiving.
They are.
So.
We're not eating those twice.
Please comment below if she's wrong.
I'm never wrong.
So I'm gonna let these all sit over here, nice, cooling down. See how everything is prepped. I'm gonna clean up, and then we're gonna start our gravy, and it's really easy to make the gravy, so don't fret or worry. We're gonna tackle all of this tonight, so that way when Thanksgiving comes around, you will be set, good to go. We'll be right back. Oh, Thanksgiving is upon us, and it's time for the gravy, and we've got our turkey breast white meat cooking here. We have our dark meat cooking here. Turkey breast at 131 degrees for 24 hours. 150 degrees on the dark meat, which is the wings and such, for 24 hours. We've made instant pot garlic mashed potatoes, super easy, super fast. We've made our green bean casserole. That has an oven. We're gonna finish that off tomorrow after we put the crunchy stuff up on top. We made 2 types of cranberry sauce. Yes, 2 types. We made the orange with the zest kind of stuff, which is absolutely my favorite, delicious. And we made regular in case we don't like all the extra stuff. It's in there. Now, you gotta have gravy. You have gravy for your mashed potatoes, you have gravy for your turkey, like you just can have a straw gravy. It's gonna be easy to do. I have a pan heating up over here. I have onion, garlic, celery, carrots, chicken bone broth. I'm using this whole thing. Salt and pepper to taste. Then I also have some thyme, rosemary, and sage. This thing is gonna be flavorful, super flavorful and amazing. And it's really easy to make. We're gonna finish it off with some butter at the end, give it a little bit more richness. But the first thing we gotta do is caramelize our onions. All right, we want all that flavor from caramelizing the onions. If you try to do it before and you add all the other stuff, all the water gets in, your onions don't caramelize, you don't get that flavor. So it's important to caramelize your onions. And because we're going to drain or filter this out, I'm not worried about the consistency of the cut. Normally, I'd cut these so that they cooked evenly and all that kind of stuff. But for this, I'm really looking to just get the flavor of the onion in there. So all I'm doing is cutting them enough to get them in there and warm. I'm gonna use some olive oil for that. You could use butter. I'm trying to cut down a little bit. You could use clarified butter, but not gonna do that. So easy enough for your onion. Again, because it's just going in, I'm doing like fajita style here. And that's it. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil in our pan. Gonna go ahead and throw these in. And I'm gonna do the whole onion, even though it's not like gonna be chunks of onion in the gravy, it's just for flavor. So again, I'm not worried about getting it cut at the same consistency. It's all for flavor. All right. And just gonna let this sit and caramelize. So I'm trying to just spread them out enough so that the surface of the pan is covered. Or the bottom of the pan is covered with the onions. And you don't have like onions on top of each other. Try to get them spread out evenly. All right. so that they cook down, and that's pretty much it. Just leave it. I'm gonna turn it up to medium here and just let it go. It's gonna like brown. You're gonna see some stuff stick to the bottom of the pan. That's fine. We're gonna deglaze it later. It's gonna be okay. While that is cooking up, we're gonna get our garlic ready. And for our garlic, same thing. We're not chopping it up finely. We don't want it to be all crazy in there, but we definitely want it to be flavorful. So you just give it a little push with the knife, just a little pounce, and it pops right out of the skin, just a little, right? You don't have to go crazy. It'll crack and then break and comes right out. That's it. Be gentle. You don't gotta get insane. And you do about 4 garlic cloves. I am doing 6 because some of them are small and it will equal about 4 garlic cloves. So I'm not gonna crush these till I'm ready to put them in the pan. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave them there. And while that is going on, I'm gonna go ahead and get my carrots ready. Carrots and celery. And I'm gonna take 2 stalks, I'll do 3. 3 stalks of celery here. I'm gonna wash my celery, so I'll be right back. Get these. Now we're using these mini carrots that are already peeled. But if you want, you can use whole carrots, that's fine. Actually, it's probably easier to cut up some whole carrots, but just get enough that equates to about 2 carrots or so. I'm gonna take a stab at it here. I'll do like, that looks like a couple carrots. There we go. That's probably a couple carrots there. All right. Put that aside. All right. And gravy's so easy to make. Like it doesn't, I mean, the most laborious thing is waiting for your onions to cook and get them to glaze, but all we're gonna do here is rough chop our celery. And again, it doesn't matter, it's just for flavor going in to our pot, so we're not worried about this consistency, although my OCD kicks in and I make it consistent anyway. All right, so we'll put our celery to the side. Same thing on these carrots. Oh, this will be fun. I'm just gonna cut these in half. Not too worried. All right, so that's all set to go. Now, the reason we use this chicken bone broth is because it doesn't have any added stuff to it. It's really just chicken bone broth. So it's very low in sodium, and we get it at Costco and we love it. So you want to use bone broth. You could use, and people do use their stock after cooking their turkey and putting it in there and everything, and that's fine. It's a lot of fat, it's heavy. So this is a little bit easier, lighter, it's not gonna be so heavy, and it has a lot of flavor in it. So that's why we use this. All right, I'm gonna check my onions here. You can see that they're starting to leave a little burn on the bottom of the pan, and that's what you want. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a little stir to flip them and start to caramelize on the other side. Get as much flavor as you can out of these onions. Just let it sit. It's gonna just do its thing. All right, so this, you can see how they're all nice and brown. They've all been cooked. They've all released some of their sugars. You see the nice bits on the bottom of the pan that tells me it's ready. So you'll see what happens when I start to add all these other vegetables. The water is gonna start to lift that from the pan, and it's delicious, but you wouldn't get all that flavor if you just threw everything in together. So it's important just to let it wait. So onions, celery, and carrots. It's called a mirepoix in French. And I don't know, it's like the holy trinity of stuff, I guess. But who knows? We're gonna just let this cook. You can start to see the water lifting from these other vegetables, kind of removing that bit from the Maillard reaction from the bottom. Deglazing the pan with the water. All right, so same thing here. Just gonna let those cook down. Give it a little bit of time. Let them start to, let the carrots caramelize a little bit. Let the celery start to soften. It'll be delicious. It's about time to add the garlic in. Okay, so when you do your garlic, you don't need to chop it up all crazy fine for your gravy. Really, you just gotta smash it. And that's it. Just smash it and throw it in there. You're just trying to release the oils and get them to infuse those oils into the all right. It's all gonna get strained, so you don't worry about it right now. So just add it in. All right. And you'll know it's ready, as Jean-Pierre says, when the garlic becomes fragrant and you can start to smell it, then you know that your garlic is cooked enough. And after that, we'll add our bone broth. We're gonna add this whole thing. It is 1 quart, or 946 milliliters if you're from European nations or so, or you're not in America. But that's it. We're using a quart. America. All right. And honestly, it doesn't take garlic very long. Like, I can already start to smell it releasing its fragrance. It smells delicious. Ah, this smells so good. And we haven't even added any kind of like gravy stuff yet. I mean, this is gravy stuff, I guess, but it smells delicious. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add our bone broth here, chicken bone broth. I'm gonna add this whole thing. You might be wondering if this is gonna be a lot of gravy, but we're gonna reduce it down quite a bit. I'm gonna go ahead and add in some thyme. And again, this is all for your preference. There's no exact measurement, but I'm gonna do some thyme, some rosemary, I'm gonna add some sage in here. I'll do a little bit of salt. This doesn't have any salt in it on the bone broth, I don't believe.
Yeah, it does.
Or it has very little, but we'll add a little bit there. Pepper. All right, now if you want the darker gravy, use beef broth, but we're just gonna go ahead and do this because it's a bit of a healthier version. Actually, it is a healthier version. I'm gonna stir this up. Yeah, chicken broth does go better with turkey because it is a poultry blend of things, so this is good. All right, so you see it all like so. It's gonna start cooking all together, which means we need to add some flour. And so I learned this trick from Jean-Pierre on how he thickens his gravy and how he adds his flour in. Now, you could cook a roux that's with like butter and police or ambulances.
Ambulance.
So you could cook a roux with flour and butter, equal portions of each, and then you start add all your other stuff and thicken it up. Or you could just do all this and then add your flour in while it's cooking, so that way it starts to thicken and everything cooks together. And so here's what he does, and it's pretty simple. You get a strainer, you're gonna put it in here like so that you can get some of the broth inside. All right, you're gonna get some flour. You're gonna put it in the strainer, okay? Oh, I need a whisk. And you get a whisk, and you just whisk it in. And you don't have any lumps. And look at that, no lumps. You can just stir this around. All right. Probably needs a little bit more. Right, and it will continue to thicken up in the end, so just just let it reduce. You don't need a whole lot, but you need your flour in early so that it can cook. You don't want it to not cook in there. So you don't have to make a roux. You could just do it like this. Add your flour in so that it cooks with everything else. Wow, that was super easy and simple. Yes, thank you, Jean-Pierre. That made it super easy, although I made a mess with the flour. That's my fault. So our gravy is just about done. All we gotta do is strain it. But before I strain it, I'm gonna try to get the bigger chunks out. That way, we don't clog up the strainer. So I'm taking this pot here. I'm just gonna take a slotted spoon. But look how thick that gravy is. It's just sticking to everything. That's delicious. That's what you want. You want it to stick to the spoon. Stick to the back of the spoon. So try to get some of this out. I should probably use a bigger slotted spoon. I wonder if I can use this. Or fry spoon. Let's see if this works. Yeah, look at that. Then what I'll do is pour this through the strainer into here. All right, most of that came out just fine. And I'll go ahead and use a slotted spoon to just kind of move the gravy through. All right, there you have it. Here is our gravy. I'm gonna get a trivet for this because it is also hot. All right, oh, forgot the butter. The one thing I was trying to not forget, and I'm gonna go ahead and add it in. You can still add it in now that it's hot, and I've been letting this sit out so it's room temperature. So I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of butter in here. All right, and get a whisk. Just, it's at room temperature, so it's gonna melt in there, but. Wow. Oh my goodness. So the butter at the end gives it a depth. So it's got all these flavors in it. You can get everything from the bone broth, you get everything from the carrots and celery, the caramelized onions, thyme, rosemary, sage, salt, pepper, like it's all in there. But that butter just deepens it even more. It gives it just a highway of flavor. Is that a thing?
Highway of flavor?
A highway of flavor. It's a 6-lane highway of flavor. It's jam-packed and it's just, life is a highway. It's just that good. So, oh my, this is delicious. I'm gonna see all.
You're like gravy drunk.
Yeah. My wife says I'm gravy drunk, and I'm not kidding. Like I could probably put a spoon or a straw in that thing and just drink it. I want some mashed potatoes now with this gravy. It tastes so good. The garlic, mashed potatoes, and this gravy. Oh, like it's all coming out very flavorful. So
For tomorrow.
it's for tomorrow. That's our dinner. I'm gonna let you know. It started at 5 o'clock. It is 7:58. In 3 hours, we've got our turkey prepped. We have our mashed potatoes done. We have green bean casserole, 2 versions of cranberry sauce and gravy. And that's it. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow. So we'll finish this all up. So until tomorrow, sleep well, my friends. Sleep well. It is day 2 of our Thanksgiving feast, and everything has been prepped. Sous vide's still going. Still about 9 hours or so left on them. And it's 9 o'clock in the morning. It's time to start the yeast rolls, dinner rolls. Because it's gonna take time for them to rest and back and forth and rest and back and forth. Pretty much what we should be doing, but we're not. We're making YouTube videos. So we're gonna get this started so it gives it time to rest and rise, get in the pan, cook them, bake them, not cook them. We're gonna bake them, get them out. They'll be nice and ready to go by the time dinner comes around. It doesn't take all day, really. It should take, depending on the temperature, ambient temperature around you will determine how quick they rise and everything. Could take about an hour total for this recipe, or could take longer if you live in a meat locker, which is pretty much the conditions over here. My wife likes to keep it like 30 degrees. It's cold. It's cold in here.
It's 68.
68. If it were 69, I'd feel better, but 68 degrees. So because it is a little bit cooler in our house, my wife likes to keep it cold.
No, it's not cold.
I have the oven on warm, and it's just running on warm, and it helps keep this a little bit warmer space. Plus, with the sous vides going, it gives it a little bit more warmth over here, so hopefully they will rise appropriately and not have to, we won't be waiting all day long. But let's go ahead and look at our ingredients here. I have 4 cups of sugar. I have 1.5 cups of warm water. You don't want it hot because it kills the yeast, but you don't want it cold, otherwise it doesn't activate. Around 100 degrees is great. A teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of active dry, or 1 tablespoon, yeah, don't do 2. 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast. First thing we gotta do is get the yeast alive, make sure it's alive. That's all you're doing. So you put your yeast in with the warm water, add your sugar, and we're gonna just stir it up. You can already see the bubbles forming, and that's all you're really doing is just making sure that it's alive. If you're not using active dry yeast, you have to wake it up, and that's basically what you're doing with the water and sugar, and it takes a little bit for it to foam, but when you start to see these bubbles up on top, you're good to go. You really don't have to wait the 5 to 10 minutes like some people will do. It depends on the yeast you're using. Ours is already active, it's just dry. It needs a little moisture. And when you see the bubbles up on top, your yeast is alive, it's ready to go. You can start going, you don't have to wait. Some people like to wait, I don't like to wait. One thing you wanna be careful though is, oh yeah, and we need 2 tablespoons of softened butter. But I've had this butter out, because it's so cold in our house, it hasn't softened yet. So I put it on top of the sous vide in hopes that it will soften.
It's not that cold.
It's cold. So one thing you want to make sure is when you put your flour in, you want to go ahead and put your salt in and mix the salt in, okay? You don't want to put your flour in and then your yeast and pour your salt on top of it, because the salt will kill the yeast. And if it's distributed throughout the flour, it won't do as much harm, and it keeps it right. So we're only gonna put 3 cups in right now, and then I'll add a little bit more later on as we go along, and you'll see why, because you're gonna start to add it and get it to the right consistency, and you don't wanna have too much flour. You just wanna have the right amount. So I'm gonna start with 3 cups, and we're gonna start to mix it until it pulls away. I'm gonna go ahead and add the salt with these 3 cups. And I'm just gonna give it a quick little mix here on low so that it gets well incorporated. I'm gonna go ahead and add my butter. All right, and I'm gonna start to add my warm water yeast mixture in here. Pour it all in. All right, you'll see it's pulling away from the sides there, which is great. All I'm gonna do is start adding a little bit more flour at a time until it continues to really pull all the way across. All right, there you go. See how it all just gently pulled away? I didn't need to use all the flour. It's got a nice tacky consistency. It's not like sticking to my fingers, but it pulls away nice. That's exactly what you want. Yeah, I could probably add a little bit more flour, but I'm not going to, because it's better to be just a tad bit low than to have too much. So I'm gonna just keep it like so. And now I'm gonna change out my dough hook. I'm gonna change out this mixer hook for my kneading dough hook. And you can do this all by hand. You don't have to do it this way. But it sure is a lot easier if you do. All right. And this we're really gonna need for like 3 to 5 minutes. I may give it a little bit extra here, extra flour. It's a little too sticky for me. that looks good. It's nice and smooth on the outside and it looks perfect. All we're gonna do is take our kneading hook out, I think. No, that's there we go. And just make sure it all comes off. So now it needs to rise. Basically, we're gonna let it rest because we've just manhandled it. So you just cover it and put it in a warm place in your house if you have one. We don't have one. So I'm covering it. It's supposed to take about 20 minutes. And I'm gonna put it closer to the sous vide. Maybe the sous vide will give it a little warmth and love. So we'll be back in about 20 minutes or an hour or 2 hours, depending on how long it takes to rise. Keep your house warm, please. It's for the greater good. It's been longer than 20 minutes over here because it's not as warm. I went ahead and put this on top of the sous vide because this is nice and warm and gives a little bit. And lo and behold, it did rise. Took a little bit of time. I checked it after 20 minutes and it was just not there. So you do what you do to make it happen. We're gonna have to let them rise again, but really you gotta have to punch this down a little bit. And I'm gonna weigh this out. And I'm gonna divide it into 20 equal parts. So it smells delicious. Just gonna pull that out. Weigh it. 31.47. .57 ounces each is what I'm gonna shoot for. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this. And put it on my board. All right, that's 1.57. Now I know what I'm looking for. I'm gonna gently roll it into a ball, and you can get them nice and tight by doing them on a board. So that gives me an idea, and then I'm just gonna lay them up here. If you do it like so on your board, it gets it tight. Tight little ball. And if you don't have a silicone mat, then you're gonna have to oil a baking sheet. So that kind of gives me an idea of what I'm looking for. All right, there we have it, 20 equal dough balls. And my wife does put these like in a glass pan, and they all kind of like will go together, and then you pull them apart and everything, and you can do that. But I didn't get the glass pan out. I got this out. So that's what I'm using. We'll see how it turns out. It's an experiment. All right, and now we just manhandled these. I'm gonna put these over here to rest. I'm gonna cover them so they don't dry out. We're gonna let these rise for an additional 15 to 20 minutes, but again, depending on the ambient temperature of your home, could change that. So I'm gonna set a timer for 20 minutes because I know 15 won't cut it here, but I have them on top of the sous vide and I'm hoping that that helps out with the time it takes for them to rise again. So we're just gonna let that do its thing. In the meantime, I have some butter that I had up there. And when we get those down, I'm gonna brush them with butter, pop them in the oven, and that's pretty much it. So we'll be back in about 20 minutes. All right, it has been over 20 minutes because the temperature of our place is not as warm, but I've been letting these just go for a while. I've had the oven preheating to 400 degrees, and so hopefully that gets the countertop a little warm. Not so much, but we've let them rise a little bit, and you can see they've all come together nicely. You could let them rise a little bit more. I think that's fine. And I had some butter over here melting. I just put it on top of the sous vide to let it melt. All you're gonna do is brush some butter on top of these. Wow, I forgot to have the main camera turned on. However, I will let you know what I did. I let them rise for longer than 20 minutes just because the temperature here isn't as warm, and I just been letting them go. They did rise enough, and all I did at this point was just take some melted butter, 3 tablespoons of melted butter, and I just brushed all of them on top, and that's it. So nothing special. You didn't miss a whole lot. You just missed, well, maybe the GoPro will catch me buttering up the dinner rolls here. That's it. That's all I did. Let them rise. Now I'm going to throw them in the oven. I've been preheating the oven at 400 degrees. Going to throw them in there about 13 to 15 minutes or until they're golden brown. Setting my timer for 13 minutes so that I can check them. I will also turn on the oven light. When you get to that mark, you want to keep an eye on them. They get that nice golden brown part up on top. And then after you get them out, you can brush them with butter again. But we are gonna brush them with butter again.
Critical.
And then you can let them cool. They're gonna be good to serve. So that's pretty much it. Dinner rolls. So we'll be back in about 13 to 15 minutes, and I'll probably need to melt a little bit more butter. Okay, the timer has gone off. 13 minutes seems to be the right time for ours. Probably because I had the oven preheating for so long. But there we go. Nice golden brown on top. Turn the oven off. Look at that. It smells delicious and they look amazing. The last step in this is to brush them with butter yet once again. This is what makes them healthy.
That's what makes them delicious.
You need to let these cool down enough that you can eat them, but these came out perfect. Look at that. Golden brown up on top. Fresh bread, the way it smells. These smell amazing. It's really quick, easy, simple ingredients that you can do. So this is one of the last steps for our Thanksgiving dinner. We will get the turkey out later, and start to warm everything else up. The last thing we'll have to do is our green bean casserole and throw in the crunchy stuff on top and throwing that back in the oven and baking it for a little bit longer. But other than that, it's just warming everything up and flame throwing the turkey, which is, well, you know, you gotta be thankful for something. And I'm thankful for my flamethrower. So these are done. I don't know how many will be left by dinner time, but hopefully we can exhibit some self-control, get them in. We will be back. It's 5:30. Our turkey's been going 24 hours now. It's been raining in my hair just when it rains all day. It's a little crazy. People are coming over at 6 o'clock, so it's time to finish everything up. I have my mashed potatoes, I have my gravy, and I gotta finish baking our green bean casseroles. Remember, we baked most of it yesterday, but I'm gonna throw it in the oven. I preheated my oven to 350 degrees. I'm gonna drop that in there. Everything's just out of the fridge. And I'm gonna put a timer. I'm gonna put it up for 10 minutes. It is time to finish off our green bean casserole. And after that, we're gonna start on the turkey. So take this out. It's nice and warm already. Sprinkle these up on top. Back in the oven, probably another 5-10 minutes or so. Set a timer here. I'll do 5 minutes and then I'll check on it. Now, let's get to our turkey. It is time. Here you go. Here is the turkey. All I'm doing is I'm removing some of these herbs because when I flamethrow it, I don't want them burned on there. Don't have to get all of them, just want to clean it up. They do tend to stick because they're vacuum sealed in there with the chicken. I'm gonna go ahead and start to pat this dry. All right, that looks good. And we're gonna go outside and flame these bad boys. So I'm gonna get the camera set up first, and then we'll go flamethrow this stuff. All right, that's all that. Now, Now let's get this inside. Here's everything. Flame thrown, all ready to go. So I think I'm gonna carve up some of this stuff. Get some things out of the way. So take this chicken breast or turkey breast. We'll cut like so. Ooh, that is super juicy. I think I need to do something here. I probably need a spoon. I think this is enough enough to showcase here for dinner. It's time to eat, so we're gonna start plating things up. So there we have it. Oh, it is Thanksgiving time. We're having our dinner. We're taking some pictures. You'll see some pictures afterwards. I'll throw some up there. But like and subscribe. Leave a comment below if you are trying any of these things or if you just enjoyed the journey along with us. And make sure you hit the bell for notifications whenever we put out new content. Be sure to visit our blog, doingallthings.com/blog. And happy Thanksgiving. We will see you next time. And I'm not getting a haircut. It's gonna be crazy, crazy town. I'm looking like Sasquatch. So, that's it. I don't even know why I keep rambling at the end, but goodbye.